channel, Crystal Healing Oracles. Today I'm going to do a reading on the reincarnation of the sultry famous jazz singer Billie Holiday and the beautiful R&B princess Aaliyah. If you're interested in learning about the past life between these singers, please keep on watching. I was spiritually guided to do this reading. Last week I was listening to At Your Best, You Are Loved by Aaliyah in a relaxed state. I had candlelight and crystals surrounding me, and her soul came to me in a quiet voice, and she told me, I'm Billie Holiday. It makes sense that Billie Holiday would choose to reincarnate as Aaliyah because she enjoyed music. Billie Holiday was born Eleanora Fagan on April 7th, 1915. She was a famous jazz singer who is nicknamed Lady Day. Her childhood was traumatic and she was neglected by her mother. Let's take a look at her numerology chart to learn more about Billie Holiday. Billie Holiday was born in the astrological sign of Aries, okay? She was born April 7th, 1915, and she died July 17th, 1954 at the age of 44. I immediately noticed that the age of death was 44, okay? And she died at a double-digit master number. The master number 44 is also called the master healer number, okay? People who resonate with the master number of a 44 often need a longer time to mature. They need stability and foundation in their life. Number 44 symbolizes people who are healers, and they usually have a very powerful position in life. Okay, so as an Aries, she had a strong personality. Billie Holiday was very gifted as a healer, and she helped a lot of people with her voice. Her life path number is a 9, and the 9 life paths are all about humanitarianism. So she was filled with a lot of love and compassion, and she wanted to heal others through her music. However, she grew up in a very troubling times. Her being a humanitarian life path 9, it made it hard for her to survive in a cruel world, especially during Jim Crow period, where Black people were discriminated against. So she definitely had this conflict, being a compassionate person, wanting to uplift the world, but at the same time, she was being oppressed for what she looked like. Her soul number 11 is another master number. And this tells me that Billie Holiday is an old soul, which I already knew before looking at her numerological chart, that she is an old soul. She has reincarnated many times on the earthly plane. Due to the fact that Billie Holiday was an old soul, she took on a lot of energy, and she experienced a lot of headaches. She had a lot of trauma when she was a child, and she told me that at 14 she was raped by a man who was very large in stature, and like he was kind of obese, overweight. This is something she couldn't get over. Okay, this is why she did drugs and she drank alcohol to numb the pain and to escape. Her birthday number is a 7, which indicates that she is psychic and intuitive. She was very empathic, and being empathic, she could feel the pain of others. And this is another reason why she decided to take alcohol, do drugs and narcotics. She didn't want to feel anymore, and she never felt free. It was like she was a caged bird, okay? And she noted that she was called Lady Sings the Blues. Music for her was the death and breath of her life, she's telling me. And however, her art imitated her life. Her mother neglected her when she was young. They had very hard times. She had an extremely difficult childhood, and she was surrounded by a lot of darkness. As Billie Holiday, she had so many karmic lessons that she had to learn, which were 2, 4, and 8. Okay. Karmic lessons are, created when you don't learn from previous lifetimes. I have a karmic lesson of a 6, which I'll get into when we get into Aaliyah's chart, because that lesson is in her chart. But as Billie Holiday, she had a karmic lesson of a 2, 4, and an 8. Okay. So karmic lesson numbers show that she had to learn to be more sensitive to others around her. Okay. As a 2. Because 2 speaks of partnerships, working with others. She experienced so much neglect and abuse and mistreatment that she didn't know how to treat others. And so the karmic lesson number 2, she had to work on that, in which she did. She did it with her music, and she worked with the band. She worked on a team. She worked with others to expand her gift and her purpose. Karmic lesson 4, she had to focus on direction in life and having a solid foundation. And at the time when she was Billie Holiday, she was very confused on the earthly plane, but she did know her soul mission, and she knew that her life was to be a healer. And she healed through her music, through her voice. Karmic lesson number 8 talks about abundance and money. And as a musician, she had a talent for making money. Unfortunately, she did not govern her money properly, and she was often penniless. And she was very impulsive with her financial matters. Okay, so as you can see, in this lifetime as Billie Holiday, she did not have any karmic debt. But because she abused her body with substances, she abused her natural talent as a musician, she incurred a debt which she had to repay when she was incarnated as Aaliyah. So now let's take a look at Aaliyah's numerology chart. Okay, Aaliyah was born Aaliyah Dana Houghton, and she was born January 16th, 1979, and she died on August 25th, 2001, at the age of 22. Notice that as Aaliyah, she died at a double-digit master number, just like Billie Holiday died at 44, which is a double-digit master number. Master number 22 is a very powerful number. Okay, it talks about the power to achieve almost anything that would be viewed by impossible by most people. People who are influenced by this number are very ambitious, confident, they're pragmatic, and disciplined, which describes Aaliyah's Capricorn energy. She was very intuitive and emotional, as well as dependable, honest, and responsible. Just like Billie Holiday's birthday number, Aaliyah's life path number is a 7. And a 7 is a highly spiritual, evolved number. My life path number is a 7, which means I'm involved in spirituality. And this tells me that Aaliyah was very clairvoyant. She was gifted psychically. She spent a lot of her time in isolation. As a life path 7, she was very spiritual. And often she used the alone time to connect to the divine. Music was her safe haven, she tells me. And she liked to inspire people with her gift. She was a healer. And just like as Billie Holiday, where she healed people with music, as Aaliyah, she continued to use music as a healing tool. And in this lifetime as Aaliyah, her soul number is a 6, which represents family. She was very loyal and affectionate, and she loved being around her family. In this lifetime, family was complete for her. She was close to her mother, unlike as Billie Holiday, she wasn't. She had a karmic lesson of a 6. As I mentioned before, I have the same lesson. It's about making commitments. She needed to work on being committed, either in work or in personal relationships. As Billie Holiday, she didn't have this lesson, but she incurred this lesson because she failed to make commitments to projects and people in her life as Billie Holiday. Therefore, she had to complete this karmic lesson as Aaliyah. She also has the same birthday number of a 7 as she did when she was Billie Holiday, because like I said, this is the same soul. This is an old soul that is highly spiritual, highly intuitive, and highly psychic. As Aaliyah, she had a karmic debt of a 16. This is a very, very complicated number. During her previous lifetime as Billie Holiday, she incurred this karmic debt, which rolled over into the new incarnation as Aaliyah. Billie Holiday could have cleared up this debt because she had a 10 in her chart, but instead she continued the cycle of abuse. This is why when Aaliyah was around 14 or 15, she was with R. Kelly. It had to happen. It was part of the karmic debt number of a 16. Aaliyah had to have the same similar experiences as Billie Holiday. This is being with an older man while she was underage. However, as Aaliyah, she didn't abuse her body. Okay, she didn't damage her voice with drugs. She cleared out the debt and she was committed to learn the lesson of a 6. Billie Holiday, on the other hand, had a troubled childhood and she was a juvenile delinquent. She dropped out of out of elementary school at the age of 11. But as Aaliyah, she valued education and she worked hard to keep up her studies even when she became a star. She was still in school. Education was very important to Aaliyah because as Billie Holiday, she was reckless and she didn't care about her studies. If you like this reading, please continue watching and listening for part 2. Thank you. As always, I'm sending you love and light.